Morning, Steve Dennison. Good to see you, buddy.
Hey, Don. How's it going?
Awesome.
Yeah, speaking of heading that direction, let's give a little plug. I see Courtney and Michelle here.
Yes.
They have an awesome event happening on Friday and Saturday. Give us a quick Central Valley rally.
Central Valley Rally, 3:30 to 7:30 on Friday, 9 to 3:30 on Saturday. And Dawn and Stephanie and Tom and Justin,
Where's Jackie? Is that Jackie?
There's Jackie right here. A bunch of our groups
Bring
speaking.
Jackie to California. Come on, girl. Let's go.
Yeah, it's our first event. So very excited about it.
Yeah, you still have a few tickets left, right? So if some last minute attendees want to join us, let's get you out there. It'll be fun.
Yeah, and by the way, if you have anybody that is within a couple hour driving distance and you can't make it, like a Jackie is in Colorado, just let your sponsor know that is going to be there, and we will personally greet them and make them feel welcome. So be aware that that's an option as well.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. We can woo them for you.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Perfect.
Well, we're going to, Stephanie is going to run the show today with Jeremy and ClarityNow. Yesterday, I had an opportunity to collaborate with Randy and Tom, and we were just talking about the ClarityNow project and what we think it could mean to our organization, both from a productivity as well as an attraction perspective. And in fact, we do see it as a tremendous tool. And because of that, we've made a pretty substantial investment commitment to it. Randy, Tom, and I are all sharing in the expense of having an enterprise version of ClarityNow. And what that's enabling is for each of you to be able to utilize ClarityNow in your individual practices, both for projection as well as reporting. And as I said in a previous meeting, I would not agree to coach an individual if they weren't using this particular tool, or I wouldn't run a team without it. And so I obviously have a high level of belief in it. That being said, we're not interested in lukewarm participation. So if you want to do this, we want you to speak with your sponsor and share with them your commitment level to that, and they'll communicate with us if we're not your sponsor. And then we'll get you onboarded and make sure that you have access to be able to set up your own account and use the tool as Jeremy's going to demonstrate again today. We think, especially now, business isn't just happening. We have to be super intentional. And this is a tool, what I mentioned to Jeremy yesterday, actually it was a couple of days ago now, I go, it's one of the first tools, productivity tools for real estate that I have seen that it was clearly designed by somebody that understood our business, right? And when Stephanie and Justin brought this to me, because I've seen a lot of stuff in my over 30 years, I was just like, wow, this is really well done and very thoughtful. And if somebody uses this, it makes it really hard to not succeed in the business, assuming that they're doing what they've prescribed to do. So anyway, those are my 2 cents. I'm going to turn it over to Stephanie, and then Randy, I know, wants to say a few words at the end too. But I just want you guys to understand and appreciate the magnitude of what the tool is, and convey that to your organizations so that we can really make a difference. Okay, that's my 2 cents.
Yeah, I'll add my few cents. So when I first saw this system, Jeremy presented it to Justin and I was like, this replaces 3 to 4 spreadsheets that I'm using to track my business and the bookkeeping component. And I will say personally that, with the ups and downs of the flow of business that has happened for me in this last year, knowing my numbers has been really the only thing that helps me sleep at night. Let's just be honest, because I've been sitting here like, gosh, I just feel like, it's inconsistent pipeline, and I actually felt like I was off in price point and average commission. And then when I looked at my numbers, I was able to say, we're actually on track. I felt like I hadn't had some of those big closings, and we've been closing a lot of little deals. We're not that off. We're less than $1,000 off from average commission from previous years. So anyway, my point in sharing that is the fact that I know that is what helps me stay motivated, keep moving forward in my business, and understand what I'm doing is working and what I need to be doing. And then another component that Jeremy's helped me to have a mindset around and look at is looking at my pipeline and saying, how many days do I have left to fill this spot in the closings that I need? I personally was looking at, like, oh my goodness, we only have 3 pendings scheduled to close in July. That got me a little bit freaking out because it's basically July. Like 30 days ago was July's business. So I can know I'm behind for next month. What do I need to do? I guess I need to get a bunch of cash buyers that can all, get in contract and close in the next 2 weeks. So I need to find those in the next 5 days so that I can get some more July closings. But anyway, the reason I'm sharing all of this is because the fact that I know this. I know these numbers, and it's important for everyone in this group to be successful and know these numbers. So thank you, Dawn. Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Randy, for agreeing to bring this to all of us. Individually, this would cost what, $79, right, Jeremy?
Yeah, per individual account, $129 for a team. You guys are all getting.
So if I were purchasing this on my own for my team, $129 a month, which actually is a great price because I'm already paying my bookkeeper $250 a month, and this can replace my bookkeeper to put out the exact same P&L, which is amazing. And the amount of time that I could add up managing 4 different spreadsheets, plus what's not being managed in my business, absolutely worth it. So worth it if you were to buy an individual or a team account, but thank you to these 3 guys that have brought it to us. Justin, did you want to add something to that?
Yeah, can I just add one more thing? And then I'm sure Jeremy wants a chance to speak at some point.
Yeah.
So I've had the good fortune of coaching agents since 2014. And way back when, I developed a spreadsheet called the Think Bigger Operating System. And I coached Stephanie for a little while. And she actually told me, she said, I've been using your template with my team ever since. And I was like, really? I had no idea. She's like, it's the best thing that I found out there. So we were touting that. And then she and I met Jeremy, and I was like, this makes mine look like a little kid toy. Like, this thing's incredible. And for us to be able to have that tool, not only for our own businesses, but to be able to actually go out and attract agents who are intentional and want that as well. Like, it's a game changer, you guys, to have this kind of resource at our fingertips. So I just want to say I'm like super grateful for Jeremy for taking what I had and put it on steroids, and for the generosity and vision of Randy, Tom, and Dawn to be able to say, let's use this and really, really grow people's businesses and our collective organizations. Pretty awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. So Jeremy's going to, he gave us an introduction to the system a couple of weeks ago. And now that we all have the opportunity to be utilizing it, we're going to be looking at it from a different mindset. And he's going to show us how to get in there and set it up. And if you are going to be using this, please talk with your sponsor. That is the person that is supporting you in your success, or their sponsor is supporting you in your success. And that's Tom, Don, and Randy here supporting all of us in our success. So the next time you say, I don't know my numbers, or I don't know where I'm at in my business, or I don't know how I'm going to do for the next 90 days, you have no reason to say that ever again. if you're using this. So that's my mom talk right there. So go ahead, Jeremy. I'll stop talking because we really want to hear from you.
I appreciate you guys. And also lastly, Randy, Don, and Tom, thank you. Thank you for allowing me to charge your credit card every month moving forward. So we appreciate that. And we're super grateful to be part of this organization. So thank you. Okay, I'm going to share my screen with you guys and show you a couple of things. If that's okay with you. The first thing I want to show you guys is quickly explain kind of what next steps will look like for you. Is we're going to be creating a landing page for you guys that Dawn, expect an email from Autumn from our team later today to introduce herself if she hasn't already, and she'll work on getting you guys onboarded. You guys will have one landing page that you guys will all be able to go to, click on a link to set up your account. So it's very, very simple. When you set up your account, it'll take you to your dashboard. The one thing I want to point out here for you guys to see, for everyone to see, is on your homepage, there's these 5 videos: how to use ClarityNow to run your business, how to do a one-on-one, how to use it for your team meetings, how to manage your finances, and how to do business planning. Most of what you guys need to know in the system, really all that you need to know in the system, are in these videos. So on the homepage for you guys always, okay? So if you click watch now, it's broken down into chapters. It explains each thing. It's highly edited. So most of what you guys need to use the system is frankly watching those videos. What I prepared for you guys today, and Stephanie, we have what, maybe 15 minutes. Is that right? Okay. So Don, you're on mute.
Yeah, no, take a little more than that. We can go till 9:45 Pacific.
Okay, all right, great. I created for you guys really a course that I put together, and I call it Advanced Agent: Plan, Track, Analyze, Succeed. One thing that I want to be clear on, and when I speak to agents like you guys, is I don't bring down the conversation. I always keep the conversation high. Right. I just refuse to think that someone can't keep up with, talking business. Right. So this is a very high level CEO conversation. The thing that I love most about real estate is that, one, whatever your goals are independent to you. Right. So no one should be creating goals for you. I love that. You can make as much or as little as you want in this industry. And also your success and your failure is completely up to you, either one. Right. So I think everyone's realizing here that knowing your numbers is important. I heard a quote today that I thought I would share quick, is it says that sloppy success is better than perfect imperfection. I'm sorry. Sloppy success is better than perfect inaction. Sloppy success is better than perfect inaction. Okay. So I'm going to show you guys kind of the ideal way to use a system and a lot of things in the system. Know that doesn't mean you have to do all that by Thursday. Okay, so sloppy success is better than perfect inaction. Just get better each week once you guys get your account set up. I'll blow past this. Just know I've done this for a long time. I know a lot about real estate. I've done 10,000 plus coaching calls. I know your guys' world. Okay, so I'll blow past that. Here's the biggest problem that I see. Two big problems specific to the space in this industry is, one, I think that oftentimes real estate agents, they lack the vision of what they're actually building. And I think that is so critical. They lack the vision of what they're building. We just kind of exist the entire year. And at the end of the year, say, how did I do? How much money did I put in the bank? But what's the goal, right? And we'll talk more about that in a moment. And also, most of us, we understand that tracking your numbers is important, but we don't know what to track. You don't know how to make spreadsheets. You're a realtor. You're not a spreadsheet maker. We don't know how to interpret numbers sometimes. We know we should have a P&L, but we don't always have a P&L, right? Our business plan isn't detailed enough. Or one of my things I hate the most about this industry sometimes is the goal is based on units, which only serves your ego, which does nothing for you and your family, versus a goal based on net profit that then creates a funnel for your future success. Right. And also, we don't know how to hold our team accountable if we have one. So a couple of quotes that I love is one from Tony Robbins. This is a little bit of a throat punch. Okay. Your income right now is a result of your standards. It is not the industry and it is not the economy. Okay. Your income right now is a result of your standards. It's not the industry. It's not the economy. And then Cuban, the more you know about your numbers, the better decisions you'll make. I think that numbers tell a story, right? And I say all the time, I don't even really care what the numbers are. I just need to know what the numbers are. So therefore I can then see the story that it's telling me. And then I know how to pivot and adjust. So if we aren't able to read the story of our business, It makes it difficult to know what to do next. So that's what we do. The first thing here is the planning section, right? One of my favorite things to say is that we can have a dream, we can have a goal, or we can have a plan. A lot of people are just dreamers, and that's okay, right? But the difference between a dream and a goal is a dream is what you want to do, but with a timeline on it. Now we have a goal. And a lot of people stop at goal. They don't actually go all the way to plan. What's the step-by-step approach to actually execute that goal? Okay. I want to stop right here really quick. I'll do this one quote and I'll stop quick. Is that Jack Welch is one of the best CEOs of all time of General Motors. To the good business leaders, they create a vision, they articulate the vision, they passionately own the vision, and they relentlessly drive it to completion. Right? I love that quote. I want to stop here quick because I just said a bunch of stuff. So what have you guys already heard? What have you guys already taken out of this?
Know your numbers.
Yes.
And then once you know your numbers, then adjust your plan accordingly to achieve your vision.
I love that. I'd like to hear from someone that's not Don, Tom, Randy, Stephanie, or Justin. Who else?
Progress matters, even if it's incremental and slow sometimes.
Love that. Thank you. Give yourself permission to not be perfect, right? Sloppy, success. What else? What else have you guys already heard?
What Dawn said.
What Dawn said. What, ladies?
I liked how you identified the problem of agents not having the vision of what they're building. I think that's very accurate.
We can have a whole separate call on that, but I just am so passionate on what is the purpose behind what you're doing. Is it to have enough income to live the quality of life that you desire and spend time with your kids and go on vacations? Or are you a driver and you're forever wanting to build and your business growth is your happiness? It doesn't really matter, but let's be authentic to who you are and make sure that your business represents that. Okay, I'm going to move forward and I'm going to come back to you guys. So thank you guys for already participating. Okay, so the first part we talked about a little bit already, but what is your final destination? What are you building towards? I'm going to skip past this because you kind of already talked about it, but the main thing that this leads into is this economic model. Okay, I believe personally that this may sound kind of funny, but selling real estate, what we all get to do here is nothing more than a funnel for creating cash. And then we take that cash and we can go and build wealth and create the lifestyles that we desire. Right? It's really what's the purpose of doing all of this if we're not netting a particular amount of money? So I'm going to show you guys a couple things here. This is a real account, but one of the first things in the system that I encourage everyone to go sign up, and if you sign up for it and you use it, you'll be forced to do this because it's part of the onboarding, is to create your goal. And your goal should be determined by how much do you want to net. The way that I think about this number, by the way, guys, is what's it cost you to live? What's your burn rate? Now, notice I didn't say, what are your bills? What's it cost you to live? Okay. This is food. This is vacations. This is buying stuff, whatever. What's your lifestyle cost? If you don't know, really, really simply, a great thing you can do is just go to your bank. Go online, look at your last 3-4 months of bank statements, add it all up, divide it by 3 or 4, however many months you picked, and that will tell you roughly what you spend per month. If you say, I think I spend 8, it's probably 12. Okay. If you think you spend 12, it's probably 15. So go get the real number. But if you take your monthly burn, you multiply it by 12, that's effectively how much you need just to live your lifestyle, right? Then we're going to add taxes on top of that, add 20, 30%, whatever number feels good to you. We don't need to talk about taxes on this call. And then what's left, frankly, should be a profit number. What's the purpose of that profit? Is it to buy a vacation property? Is it to pay for a college fund? So your net goal should be enough to cover your lifestyle, pay taxes, and enough left over to actually move forward. Okay, so pick whatever number you want, go through the system, and at the end of it, it will tell you. This guy, by the way, he lives in Erie, Pennsylvania, so his average sales price is pretty low. But for him to net 300 grand, he's got to do 138 houses where he lives. Okay, this is the math. It's just the math. The math is the math is the math is the math. That's a beautiful thing about this system is it's just real. So once you determine this, then now you have a goal. The second thing is now we get to track. Okay. Successful businesses don't just have KPIs. A KPI is a key performance indicator. Okay. Key performance indicator. They don't just have KPIs. They understand and they act on them. That's kind of the, does your business tell you a story? Do your numbers tell you a story? What's that story say? And based on that, what do I have to do next? So a lot of people that struggle with what should the KPIs actually be, right? In real estate, what should your KPIs be? So I'm going to tell you, the first one's the goal gap. To me, Stephanie already alluded to this one. This is huge, guys. It's really, really important. The way this works, in your system on the left-hand side, if you click on goal gap after you set up your account, it tells you specifically how many days you have left to sell for properties that can close in Q3 and how many days you have left to sell to take listings that can close in Q3. Notice they're different dates because to take a listing, you still have to make it go live, right? The timeline in between signed and going live. It's got to sit on the market and then ultimately sell and then go to closing. So immediately it tells you how much time you have left to hit your quarter goals. Okay. Then it tells you up here, the top half here, this top half is all the goals. And it's taken from your economic model and from your seasonality, which is all part of the onboarding process. Very simple. It tells me that my goal is to get 23 listings signed. So far in the system, they've entered 11 listings. Okay. Their goal is to close 41 for 7.6 million. So far in the system, they've entered 9 for 3.5 almost. That's actual numbers. Okay. Which means you have to enter data. One of my biggest goals of the company is to help you guys ultimately have to enter nothing. But until that eventually happens, you have to take ownership of your business, which means you have to spend 3 minutes on every time you take a listing or you sell a house to put the data in. If there's no data, you don't have numbers. Okay, so it's a huge pain point. I get it. And it's just the reality of how much do you care about your business? Are you willing to spend 3 minutes to actually put the data in, or give your admin edit access, have them do it, which is even better. Okay. That way you don't have to do it, but it still gets done. Now I know my gap goals 22. I'm at 11. My gap's 11. Goals 41 sales. I'm at 9. My gap's 32. I have a gap of $4 million in volume. Based on the time that I have left, this is the goal right here. What do you need to do in the next 7 days to stay on track? So if I'm running a team meeting or if I'm doing a coaching call with myself this week, I got to sign 4, sell 4 for $520,000. So the first KPI to track is just what is your goal gap? What do you got to do in the next 7 days to stay on track to hit your quarter goals? The second part is daily lead generation. Okay. Now with this one, entering your lead gen is really important. Okay. And this is the perfect example, in my opinion, of what was that quote again? Sloppy success is better than perfect inaction. If all you do in the first month is get onboarded and create the habit of entering your listings and transactions so you officially have reporting, bravo. Okay, good job. Next step is actually entering your lead generation. The cool thing with ClarityNow, the way that we built it, is people want to track all kinds of stuff. When you go to daily tracking and you click on new on the top right, here's the stuff that comes standard in the system. How many appointments, how many sales, etc. Right? But if you want to track something unique to you, you can click on new category and type in whatever the heck you want. It could be number of reviews that you asked for. It could be something on the operations side. It could be number of social media messages or whatever. Literally limitless. So all you got to do each day, go and hit new, type in whatever you did. Very, very simple. Actually track the numbers. Sales pipeline. If there's one thing you chose to do in the system, it would be, in my opinion, it would be actually having your pipeline. I believe it provides so much clarity in your business. This is what the sales pipeline looks like. Everybody gets entered in, and I can see for this client, he has 77 people in his pipeline, $14 million, $246,000 in GCI. The way that we built the pipeline is frankly the way that I think it should be done. And I got to choose that because I own it. Is having a 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5 system. A 10 means I'm getting that listing signed this month. Right now it's what, the 25th, 26th, something like that. This month. A 9 is I'm getting that listing signed next month. And 8 is in 2 months. You can't hide from it. Right? On the buy side, it's the same thing, but just buyer focused, where it's they will be purchasing a home this month. They're purchasing a home next month. extremely literal. The challenge that I've seen in being a coach in the industry for as long as I have been is that most systems use like hot, medium, cold, right? But then everybody has a different definition of hot in the same team. So what's it really mean, right? Or worse yet, they have like 30, 60, 90-day leads. But the challenge with that is this person, John Smith, has been labeled 30 days for 6 months. Now I can't trust who the 30 days are. Right. So this month, next month, and 2 months is super literal. So if I just want to see my listing pipeline, I click on listings. I have 35 my listing pipeline. I got 110. Awesome. If I want to see who that 10 is, here it is. Joseph and Shelby on Tamarack Road for $165,000. I'm expected to get that listing signed this month, which if I move my thing, that means I got 4 days. Right. If I clear this and I want to see my nines, I click on my nines. Here's the nines I have. I got 3 listings for $335,000. Again, Erie, PA. Okay. But it's extremely literal, extremely literal. Oops, didn't mean to do that. Actually, I will stop there. The next stop is analyze. I'll stop here. On the plan and the track section, what did you guys hear? What did you guys take out of this?
I just like the transparency of your numbers. I mean, you can deep dive into them very quickly and very easily. So, knowing your numbers is critical. So, and I think most of us, struggle on that. So, just takes that part away and makes it very easy for us.
Can I ask you a question? Are you okay with that?
Sure.
I'm huge on one of my favorite quotes is what's most personal is most universal. What's most personal is most universal. Meaning, if it matters to me, I promise it matters to a lot of other people too. So when you say something I've struggled with, you're not alone in that. What specifically did you struggle with? Was it the realizing I needed to do it? Was it the tool to do it? Was it the I don't know how to use spreadsheets or the habit that you never created? What was your specific struggle in not tracking prior?
I think your daily activity to see what you're doing each and every single day. I think there's a lot of distractions in our industry. So, you're easily taken away and off task.
So actually creating the habit of sitting down for a moment to track.
Yep, that would be correct.
Yeah, I love that. Suggestion on that, put it in your calendar. Put a slot in your calendar. So at least it reminds you see it. Put it in your calendar, track daily activities, and you're done. Other cool thing in our system is you'll get an email every day that says, don't forget to track your daily activities. so you'll see that every day. And as of right now, I don't think you can turn it off. So we may not decide to let you guys turn that off.
Hey, Jeremy, if I could just comment there.
Yeah.
I think what happens to people, especially in tough environments like most of us are in right now, is that they've got a goal gap, like you had talked about earlier, but they don't have a absolute clear connection to their daily activity. And so if one were to set themselves up in this, I think it's able to then reverse engineer back to exactly what I have to do today in order to close that goal gap. Right.
Yeah, you're right.
I think it's rather convenient not to know our numbers because then we don't have to do our daily activity. Right. Or at least, we're like, well, yeah, I'm not sure. And yeah, it's tough. But if we absolutely know it, then we also know what we need to do each and every day.
I was on a call earlier today and we had signed up a market center. And I asked how the meeting went with their leadership team. And one person said, I don't want to look at the numbers because I don't want to see how big the gap is. Right. So the avoidance of it. And what goes through my head, and I didn't say this to the person because I wasn't on that call, but from the coach in me says 2 things. Is one, problems don't cease to exist because you choose not to look at them. Right? Problems don't cease to exist because we choose not to look at them. The second one, and this is a big one, and again, I've always been the kind of person that's willing to say the kind of hard stuff sometimes, because that's just how I'm wired. But if you are reflecting on yourself and like, gosh, that is me. I just don't always want to see the gap, and it's just not a comfortable thing. What I would ask yourself is who in your life is paying the price for your lack of not wanting to see that? Someone is being impacted by us not wanting to see it. I promise you. I promise you. I had a client one time, wasn't able to buy the car for her daughter that she set out to buy for her when she turned 16. And it was because she didn't take action, and her daughter paid the sacrifice by driving something different than what she initially wanted to buy. Right. So someone's paying the bill is the point. But you lead that directly into the analyze section. So thank you. It's a good segue there, Don. Analyze.
Let me just say one last thing on this.
Yeah.
The inverse is also true, by the way. If you are doing the daily activity, it may just be that the results of that activity have not yet manifested, right? So just because you're not enjoying the abundance that you want, that also doesn't mean you're not doing the appropriate activity today. It means you probably weren't doing that appropriate activity 90 days, 6 months ago.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I completely agree with you. And I also believe that people, if they're honest with themselves, they know how they're showing up. Am I putting in the work and it's just not hitting it? Or are the results there because I'm not doing what I should? Right. So if you are on the first part of that, you know you're doing the work and you're playing I'm trusting in the process game, do not quit. Beautiful. Good job. Keep it up. That's ClarityNow in a nutshell, by the way. Okay. Next, numbers don't lie. If your KPIs are indicating that something is wrong, it probably is. Right. So part of analyzing is looking at your conversions. Right. And conversions are very simple. All you do is you click on reports, lead gen and conversions. All the lead gen that you enter shows right here. So I can see my listings, my contacts to set, my set to held, my held to taken to pended. I can see it per agent on the team and as the company. I can see it as a conversion percentage or as a ratio, if you like that viewpoint better, for the year or by specific timelines. I can see the buy side of my business, my dials to contacts, and all of my custom stuff that you created. So taking the moment, monthly or every couple of weeks to go ahead and analyze the business, this tells a story, right? For this client, what do you think the story is? That they're not tracking their lead gen. Right? So there's only a couple of contacts from one person in the whole company. So this would be a story that I would go ahead and make sure that we adjust. If you are tracking it, look at the conversion ratio, what you desire. The next huge number to track, so important for your family, is future cash flow. I think this is probably the most important report in the system, and it's under reports. If you click on CEO summary, and then this is a monthly summary, this is a great report. Click this drop down. We have projected net profits. Again, this is the real account here. So I can look at this and I can see what his pending gross profit is. Gross profit is his income, not GCI, but his money after splits, right? What his closed gross profit is, totals it up for you. I got $45,000 of total gross profit in June. In their economic model, they said they would spend about $12,000 a month. And if you look at their expenses, they're right around that number, right? So this is a pretty real number for them. Therefore, I can see my estimated net. I can see that we're going to net somewhere around $33,000 in June. We're netting around $43,000 in July. And right now we're losing $1,850 in August. This column right here, this column mixed with or matched with your goal gap, your weekly numbers, these two things right here should tell you what your strategy needs to be for the next week. Do I need to dive back hard into lead generation and lead follow-up, or can I take my foot off the gas pedal and maybe go work on a system or a recruit or something that's more bigger picture? Majorly important is knowing your actual cash flow. The other thing to analyze is your P&L. We're so proud of this, but one of our favorite things about ClarityNow is I think it's the best P&L in the business. And Stephanie, you alluded to this, so thank you for that. I appreciate it. What's so great about it is, one, it's in real time. For those of you that have used bookkeepers, I think bookkeepers are great. And the challenge is that they oftentimes give you the P&L like a month afterwards, right? Because this is software, it's pulling all the transactional data from the system. So it's always live. So it's pulling the actual data. I can see my listing income, my buyer income, my transaction fee income, total income. I can see it by a dollar amount or by a percentage of revenue. When I look at this client, I can see he's got a massive percentage of his income is on the listing side, which is great. And I love to actually see it a little bit more balanced, right? So part of analyzing the business what are we not doing on the buy side that we could pick up on to actually bring the buy side of the business up to maybe get to like a 60% listing income, 40% buy side ratio? Just analyzing it, right? I can see my cost of sale, my gross profit percentage. What percentage is my cost of sale? This tells a story too. How much I spent per P&L category, any vendor income, profit income, net income down below. If I want to see a deep dive of my expenses, I can click here and I can see what are the actual line items that made up my expenses. And I also can see a visual P&L if you like charts and graphs a little bit more. I can see what does February look like. And this is February's P&L. Again, everything by a dollar amount or by percentage. And we also have a quarterly viewpoint too. So this is all in every single one of your ClarityNow accounts. On this report, the income and the cost of sales are automatically pulled over. Okay, so that's happening just by using the data. The expenses, you need to get into the system by either filling out a form for each one, which probably most people have like 30 or 40 line items a month. So it's not a huge task, but it is a task. Or if you use QuickBooks, we do have a QuickBooks API, which is fantastic. So those would be the only two ways to get the expenses in. Beyond that, succeed. Plan, track, analyze, succeed. So I'm curious. Again, I think we ended right on time. What did you guys hear? Ralph, I hear that activity equals momentum equals success. I love that. Thank you. Thank you. Randy, you were wanting to say something at the end there. You're touching at the very end here. Why don't you hop in? What are your thoughts?
Don's much more eloquent in his explanation. I'm not. I'm a coach, and sometimes it's hard for me not to be a coach, right? But we don't know our numbers in real estate. Let's be honest. I glazed over. As amazing as this is, I'm still glazing over because I'm not that analytical guy, right? I want to go out and kiss babies and sell things and do things, but we need to know the numbers. And so what comes up for me, this is a critical tool. And that's why Don, Tom, and I looked at this and said, we have to invest in people. This is like the weak link, right? This is the thing that people don't do. And my greatest fear is offering this thing for free for you because you're not going to have value in it. I'm just being honest. It doesn't matter what we provide people. If it's free, there's no value in it for you. If you had to pay $1,000 a month, you're like, holy shit, I got to do this because I'm paying $1,000 a month and I'm in a contract. That's what we're in for you. So I just want to really send this home to you that to make this work, you've got to commit to it. And if you don't commit to it, you better have something really good in place because this is the holy grail of real estate. Especially for us, what we're looking at is what do we want? We want time freedom. We want financial freedom, time freedom, geographical freedom. That's the EXP dream. You can't get it unless your real estate business is in order, likely, right? I'm now out of production, but we've got rock stars in here that understand the importance of this. And I'll tell you the story that I talk about with all my people in coaching. I talk to an agent that's doing 4 or 5 deals a year. They want to get to 12 or they want to get to 20. And I go, show me your prospecting, show me your book, show me all these things. And it's not in order. And they're like, I don't have time to do all that. And I talked to an agent that's doing 1,000 transactions a year. I had 2 I coached, and both of them are like, oh yeah, here it is. Oh yeah, here's my bookkeeping. Here's my accounting. Here's my prospecting time. It's gospel. What's the difference there, right? And so for when I looked at this, I said, this is the cleanest system I've seen for accounting. It's still a lot. I get it, but it starts slow and it will start expanding. When you get the fundamentals in, like, what do I want to do? What am I doing? What's the delta between those two? Yep. Right? This is what we're offering you. And then you could start really get into this where you're in that 5th phase maybe of doing proper P&Ls. And you're really looking at 69% listing inventory, 31% buyer inventory, opportunities within your business. So for me, this is, when I really stumbled into this. Thank you, Stephanie, for bringing this to the table, and Dawn and Tom. And they invited me to take a look at it. And I was like, this is a complete no-brainer from our perspective. Again, my fear is you're going to be sitting there going, well, I already have QuickBooks. BS, it's not working, or else you'd be able to tell me your numbers, right? Or I already have this system. I already have that. You've got to lose that thinking. This is an organizational thing only. Others are going to pay $79 a month for this, period, end of story. And we're supplementing this through an enterprise account that's writing checks for the benefit of this. When you look at these things, you have this. What what Jeremy provides with ClarityNow is do it yourself. He's done all the work for you to plug in and figure out all these components yourself. That's DIY, right? And then there's DWY, which is do it with you. That's really what I'm looking forward to providing, and Don and Tom and I, to help you guys get groups together. We're not going to be your accountant. We're not going to be that, right? You have to have accountability, though. Get groups together where you guys can have accountability to each other, make it fun, get different people together. So we have a team that have 80 transactions a year versus somebody that's got 6 or 8 transactions a year, and start creating some of that for you. And then my last thing is this: I'm not selling you on this. There's nothing to sell. I'm begging you to look at your business differently to get the things that you want. And we're helping you provide this through this vehicle. But, it's all about stress. It's all about financial stress. Financial stress in your business, which leads to financial stress in your family, which leads to financial stress in your marriage and your friendships and your business decisions. If you don't know what's going on in your business, you cannot make a good business decision. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter if it's a lead lever or if it's an opportunity over here that might be an investment or something. You can't lead with it because you don't know what's going on. This up-down income of real estate is the problem. And this kind of tool will take that out of it. So I just implore you, I beg you, I ask you to take this really serious. The decision's already been made. You get on the bandwagon, don't get on the bandwagon. It's okay. We're marching forward with it. But I'm begging you to look at it from a different perspective and treat it like your business life depends on it. And I think it does. And again, if you were coaching with me in a production-based conversation and you didn't have a tool like this, that's step one. We can't move forward coaching you without the tool, right? Because I can swamp you with more deals. That's not going to help you. We need to know what we're doing, what the profit, what the ROI on that is. So
I'll tell you
that's all I got to say. Hopefully you get my point.
One thing that we're going to be doing in our end too, just so you guys all know, is once a month, I will be hosting a webinar that you guys all will have access to and can join, where I'll be going over specifically the P&L, specifically business planning, specifically team meetings or one-on-ones. So I'm committed to having a call every single month that you guys can jump on. It's for all of our enterprise customers, so it's not exclusive to this group, and yet it's still great value. So I'm going to add
another exclusive to this group opportunity that we're going to really lean into this thing, right? So I'm willing to commit to those things as well, from a coaching support posture as well. So you're going to get a lot of value.
Don, anything else that wasn't said that you'd like to be said, or Stephanie?
Well, echoing Randy's comments, of course, we have made this commitment now. And of course, what we want to see is that people will embrace it in their businesses and it'll make a difference for them. I will say there is another side to this, which is attraction.
Yeah. And
we're the only EXP organization that has acquired this so far. So
great point.
We have something truly unique. Right now, people are not that excited about spending $80 a month on another thing. And so it's yet another value that we can deliver to our organization that could make a difference for people. So don't be shy about incorporating that. I know, today I'm going to be meeting with an Icon agent that Russell Enier put me together with, and I'm going to be mentioning it to him because I think it's a valuable piece of the puzzle.
100%. 100%.
I appreciate you. Go ahead,
Thank you, Jeremy. I'll wrap us up. I mean, I love what everybody said. Thank you, Randy, for really putting a bow on that for us. I would just say, I'm going to speak as an agent and as a busy agent. I'm with you, Randy. I don't like doing any of this stuff. It is my least favorite thing.
Yeah.
I love you, Jeremy. Thank you for bringing this to us. I will not be excited to use it every week and every month, but I will be because I know it's important. And what I would wrap us up with is look on this screen. We've got people that are watching the live on Facebook and that will rewatch, and people that we know in this organization specifically. Think of who the most successful people are in this organization, and think about what they do to run their business. And if you look at them and you say, I want to be like that, I want to be like Russell and Amir and Dawn and Randy even, I want to be like these people. What are these people doing? They're doing exactly this. And that's why I'm going to grit my teeth and hate every moment of it, but I'm going to do it because I want to be like that as well. That's all I got.
Okay, real quick, I just want to announce next Wednesday, it's the 3rd, we're having top athlete, top sports coach, top real estate business coach, top broker, Mark Soto. So I know it's a vacation week for y'all, a lot of people, but next Wednesday right here, he's going to bring the heat. So see you next Wednesday, the 3rd. Thanks, Jeremy, Dawn, Randy, Stephanie. See you soon. Thanks.
Thank you.